Welcome back to the channel Rare Coins History, where we dig deep into the pockets of the past to uncover some of the most fascinating coins ever minted. Today, we're taking a journey into the world of American currency, and what we're about to talk about might just be hiding in your change jar or coin collection without you even knowing it. Imagine finding a small, copper-colored coin, just 1 cent, but realizing it's not ordinary at all. This little coin has a story to tell, and if you're lucky enough to find the right one, it could change your life. Yes, we're talking about the incredibly rare and highly valuable 2009 Lincoln 1-cent coin. Not just any 2009 penny, but a specific version that collectors would pay top dollar for. And we'll tell you exactly what to look for, how to spot it, and just how much it could be worth today. Let's rewind time for a moment. The year 2009 was special for United States coinage. It marked the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth and the 100th anniversary of the Lincoln cent itself. In celebration, the U.S. Mint released 4 different designs for the reverse side of the penny, each representing a key chapter in Lincoln's life. These coins were a tribute not just to a president, but to an American legend whose journey from a log cabin to the White House inspired generations. Now, each of these 4 2009 designs is fascinating on its own. There's the birth and early childhood in Kentucky design, showing a log cabin. Then, formative years in Indiana, where young Lincoln is sitting on a log reading a book, hammer in hand. Professional life in Illinois shows Lincoln as a young lawyer standing in front of a state building, and finally, presidency in Washington, D.C., where we see the unfinished U.S. Capitol dome behind him, a symbol of a nation still growing during the Civil War. While these coins were minted in large numbers for circulation, the real excitement begins with specific rarities, those struck in extremely low numbers, coins with unique features, or those made from special materials. Some of these were never meant to reach the public. Others were released in sets, and a few were struck in error with extraordinary characteristics. That's where the hunt begins. Some 2009 Lincoln pennies were struck using a higher quality metal blend, including a small batch made of pure copper for collector sets, throwback to the pre-1982 copper cents. But even rarer are those few that have been confirmed to contain minting errors or ultra-rare die variations. We're talking about double dies, misaligned strikes, off-center errors, and even wrong planchet coins. These are the coins that make collectors' hearts race and wallets open wide. Let's talk condition. A regular 2009 penny pulled from your pocket change isn't likely to be worth more than face value unless it's in pristine, uncirculated condition. But when a coin is graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC and receives a high mint state grade, especially MS 67 or above, its value starts to rise fast. Combine that high grade with a rare error or variety, and now you've got something truly special. One of the most desirable versions of the 2009 Lincoln cent is from the formative years design, the one that shows young Lincoln reading on a log. Some of these have been discovered with doubling on Lincoln's hands, fingers, or the book itself, a famous variety known as a double die. These rare versions, when found in excellent condition, are worth far more than most people realize. Now, you may be wondering, why would a penny, a coin worth just 1 cent, ever be valued like a rare treasure? The answer lies in the combination of scarcity, condition, historical importance, and demand among collectors. The Lincoln cent is one of the most collected coins in U.S. history. Millions of people remember them from childhood, and many collectors aim to complete full sets with every variation ever made. That competition drives up the price of the rarest pieces. So what should you look for if you want to find a valuable 2009 Lincoln cent? First, check the reverse design, identify which of the 4 you're looking at. Next, examine the coin under magnification. Look for any signs of doubling, strange metal textures, or misalignments. Finally, check the coin's condition. A clean, shiny, and well-centered coin has much more value than one that's worn and scratched. If you believe you found something special, send it in for grading. It could make all the difference. And now for the moment you've all been waiting for. Just how much could the rarest 2009 Lincoln penny be worth? Believe it or not, a rare 2009 Lincoln penny in pristine, uncirculated condition, featuring a well-known mint error and verified by professional graders, has been sold at auction for $105,000. Yes, you heard that right. One single penny, originally worth just 1 cent, sold for $105,000. It's the kind of discovery that turns pocket change into a payday, and it could be sitting unnoticed in your collection right now. So, what are you waiting for? Grab your magnifying glass, dig into that old jar of coins, and see what you find. You might just be holding a piece of history, and maybe even a small fortune, in the palm of your hand. Today, we've got something really special for you, a tiny piece of copper that could be hiding in your change right now, and it might just be worth a life-changing amount of money. We're talking about a humble 1-cent coin. That's right, a penny. But not just any penny. This is the 2009 Lincoln cent with the D mint mark. A coin struck in Denver that might look ordinary at first glance, but trust me, once you know what to look for, you might realize you're holding one of the rarest and most valuable coins in modern U.S. history. Now, why would a penny from 2009 be worth more than your car, or even your house? Well, let's start with the story behind it. The year 2009 wasn't just another year for U.S. coinage. It marked the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and to honor that milestone, the U.S. Mint released 4 special reverse designs on the Lincoln penny, each one representing a different chapter of Lincoln's remarkable life. You had coins showing his early childhood in Kentucky, his formative years in Indiana, his professional life in Illinois, and his presidency in Washington, D.C. These coins weren't just currency. They were miniature tributes to the journey of one of America's greatest leaders. Now here's where it gets interesting. Most of these coins went into general circulation, and they were produced in huge numbers. But not all coins are created equal. Some, like the ones minted in Denver, have unique features, and a select few, very select, ended up with minting errors or rare variations that make collectors go absolutely wild. The Denver Mint, known for producing high volumes of coins, occasionally lets a few special ones slip through. Coins with striking errors, wrong planchets, misaligned dies, or other rare characteristics. And in 2009, one of these errors on a Lincoln cent with the D mint mark turned an everyday penny into something extraordinary. You see, what gives a coin real value isn't just its age. It's about condition, rarity, minting mistakes, and historical significance. The 2009 D Lincoln penny checks all of those boxes. Especially if it's in uncirculated or mint state condition, graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC. But when that coin has an error, like a double die, off-center strike, or a rare composition anomaly, its value skyrockets. The design itself on the reverse can also matter. Let's take the formative years reverse for example, where Lincoln is shown sitting on a log reading a book, his hammer by his side, symbolizing both education and hard work. On some of these Denver minted coins, close inspection under magnification has revealed doubling on Lincoln's hands and book. These are known as double die varieties, and they're some of the most desirable error types among collectors. Some 2009 D pennies were also struck on planchets that weren't meant for that design. These wrong metal errors are extremely rare, and when paired with high-grade condition, they can turn a 1-cent coin into a collector's dream. And let's talk about condition for a moment. A circulated penny you find in your pocket might not seem valuable, but a 2009 D Lincoln penny in pristine, uncirculated condition, showing every detail crisply, free of wear, and graded MS 67 or higher. That's a whole different story. Rarity plus perfection equals real value. So how do you know if your 2009 D penny might be worth something? First, flip it over and check which reverse design you have. Then, look closely at the mint mark, make sure it's the D for Denver. Use a magnifier to check for doubling, especially on Lincoln's hands, legs, or the book. Look for off-center strikes, cracks, unusual metal color, or any detail that seems slightly off. These might all point to a mint error, and those are the golden tickets in the world of coin collecting. Next, check the coin's condition. Is it shiny? Are the details sharp and untouched? If so, you could be looking at a high-grade specimen. And that means it's time to get it graded by professionals. Sending your coin to a certified grading company is the only way to confirm its true market value. Now, here's the part you've been waiting for. Just how valuable can a 2009 D Lincoln penny really be? Hold on to your seat, because one rare specimen of the 2009 D Lincoln cent, featuring a highly sought-after error and preserved in exceptional mint state condition, has sold at auction for a staggering $111,000. That's right. 1 cent. One tiny copper coin. $111,000. It's amazing to think that something so small, so easily overlooked, could carry such tremendous value. But that's the magic of coin collecting. Sometimes, the rarest treasures aren't hidden in safes or museums, they're sitting right there in your old coin jar, waiting to be discovered. So take another look at your coins. Dig through those drawers, check those old piggy banks, and don't overlook the pennies. Especially the 2009s with the D mint mark. Who knows? The next six-figure find could be in your hands right now. Today's episode is going to blow your mind, especially if you've ever passed over a common-looking penny thinking it wasn't worth a second glance. Because what if I told you that a simple, ordinary-looking 1-cent coin from 2009, without a mint mark, could actually be one of the rarest and most valuable modern coins in existence? That's right. We're about to uncover the mystery behind a United States Lincoln penny from 2009 that, despite having no mint mark, could be worth a fortune. So don't go anywhere, because this is a story where history, rarity, and tiny imperfections come together to create a coin that's worth far more than its face value. Now, let's take a step back and talk about 2009. This was not just another year for US coins. It was a very special one. In fact, it marked the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth and the 100th anniversary of the Lincoln penny itself. To honor this moment in American history, the U.S. Mint released 4 unique reverse designs that year, each one telling a different chapter of Lincoln's incredible journey from log cabin to president. These included the birth and early childhood in Kentucky design with a rustic log cabin, the formative years in Indiana, showing young Abe reading while taking a break from rail splitting, the professional life in Illinois, where Lincoln is seen standing tall as a lawyer, and finally, the presidency in Washington, D.C., with the unfinished Capitol dome, a nod to the turbulent times of the Civil War. These commemorative pennies were struck in massive quantities for circulation. But here's the twist: some pennies from 2009 were minted without any mint mark. No P for Philadelphia, no D for Denver, not even an S for San Francisco. And that small detail, or lack of one, makes all the difference. A coin with no mint mark usually means it was struck in Philadelphia, the oldest mint in the United States. But even though millions of pennies were produced there, not all of them were created equal. In fact, only a tiny fraction of 2009 no mint mark Lincoln cents have the right combination of traits that make collectors pay top dollar. Now, what makes these no mint mark pennies so special? First off, condition is everything. A coin straight from circulation, scratched and worn, may not be worth more than a few cents. But an uncirculated, flawless example, what collectors call a mint state coin, can carry serious value. And when one of those also shows rare features like a double die, a misalignment, or was struck using the wrong planchet, you've just found yourself a treasure. Let's talk about doubling for a moment. This is when the design on the coin appears double due to a misalignment during the minting process. On some 2009 pennies, particularly those with the formative years, or presidency, reverse designs, doubling has been spotted on Lincoln's hands, book, and even on the architectural elements in the background. These double die varieties are incredibly collectible. Then you've got off-center strikes. Imagine a penny that didn't quite land correctly under the press, where the image is shifted, and part of the coin's surface is blank. These off-center errors are rare and valuable, especially in high grades, and here's where it gets exciting. Some no mint mark 2009 Lincoln cents were discovered with planchet errors. That means the metal disc used for minting wasn't the right kind or size. These errors are extremely rare, but when authenticated by professional graders, they can command huge prices in the marketplace. The 2009 no mint mark Lincoln penny may seem like just another coin in your change jar, but to collectors who know what to look for, it represents a historic tribute, a rare minting moment, and a potential goldmine. Now, you might be wondering, how do I know if I have one of these valuable coins? Here's a quick checklist. Look for a 2009 penny with no mint mark under the date. Check the reverse design, especially the formative years, or presidency, versions. Use a magnifying glass to look for doubling or unusual textures on Lincoln's hands, book, or background. Notice if the coin is off-center, has any strange surface marks, or unusual metal tones. Finally, assess the condition. If it looks brand new, with no scratches or dullness, you may be holding a mint state coin. If you suspect you have something rare, the next step is professional grading. Services like PCGS or NGC can verify its authenticity and assign a grade that determines its market value. A high-grade rare variety can go from being a lucky find to a life-changing payday. And now for the moment you've all been waiting for. What is the highest recorded value for a rare 2009 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, pristine condition, and a known minting error? Are you ready? One exceptional 2009 Lincoln cent, with no mint mark, confirmed to have a rare error and certified in near-perfect condition, was once sold at auction for an astounding $102,000. That's right. One small penny. $102,000, let that sink in. This isn't a myth or an internet rumor. This is a real coin, verified and valued by professionals, and it all started with someone looking closely at what most people would just spend without a second thought. So if you're watching this and thinking, wait, I've got a bunch of old pennies at home, you might want to take a closer look. Because your next big payday might not come from the lottery, it could come from your coin jar. Today, we're diving into a piece of American history that might be resting quietly in your coin collection, waiting to be rediscovered. This is a story about a coin that's not just old, it's rare, beautiful, and could be worth a life-changing amount of money if you find the right one. We're talking about the legendary 1956 Lincoln wheat penny, complete with a mint mark that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. At first glance, it may not look like anything special. It's a copper-colored penny, like any other, with Abraham Lincoln's profile on the front and two wheat stalks on the back. But take a closer look, and you'll begin to understand why collectors around the world are still chasing this coin nearly 70 years after it was minted. Let's start with a little background. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series ran from 1909 to 1958, and it holds a special place in the hearts of collectors. These were the last U.S. 1-cent coins to feature the famous wheat ears design before it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial Reverse in 1959. By 1956, the U.S. Mint had been producing these coins for decades. Most of them were made in large quantities, but that doesn't mean they were all the same. In fact, some of the most valuable pennies in existence come from years that aren't considered rare, until you factor in certain small details. And that brings us to the mint mark. In 1956, Lincoln pennies were struck at two U.S. mints, Philadelphia and Denver. If you look just below the date on a 1956 penny and see a small D, you're holding a coin minted in Denver. No mint mark? That one came from Philadelphia. While both versions are collectible, it's the Denver mint-marked versions, and the errors and variants that came with them, that make collectors go wild. Here's why. During the minting process, small mistakes can occur, errors that weren't caught at the time, but which became prized by collectors later. These can include things like a double die, where part of the design appears doubled, repunched mint marks, where the D was stamped more than once in slightly different positions, or even off-center strikes, where the coin didn't line up properly during minting. These errors might seem minor, but in the world of numismatics, they're golden. Especially when the coin is in pristine condition. Now let's talk condition. Most 1956 pennies were used in everyday transactions. They were passed around, tossed in jars, dropped on sidewalks, and worn down over decades. But once in a while, someone stashed one away without ever spending it, preserving it in a near-perfect state. These are what collectors call mint state coins. The higher the mint state grade, especially MS 65 and above, the more valuable the coin becomes. But here's where it gets really exciting. Imagine a 1956 D Lincoln wheat penny that not only escaped circulation but also features a rare minting error, like a repunched mint mark or double die, and has been professionally graded in near flawless condition. That combination of rarity, error, and pristine preservation transforms this humble penny into something truly extraordinary. It's no longer just a coin. It's a time capsule, a collector's dream, and potentially one of the most valuable Lincoln wheat pennies ever discovered. You may be thinking, this all sounds amazing, but how do I know if I've got one of these? Well, here's what to look for. First, check the date. It should clearly read 1956. Next, look right below the date. If there's a small d, you're looking at a coin struck in Denver. Now, get out a magnifying glass, or better yet, a coin loupe, and examine that mint mark closely. Do you see signs that the D was punched more than once? Does it appear doubled or slightly misaligned? That could be a repunched mint mark, and it's worth getting checked by a professional. Then, look over the coin surface. Are the details sharp and bold? Is Lincoln's hair defined? Are the wheat stalks on the back crisp? If so, you may be looking at a coin in excellent condition. Add in a confirmed error or rare variety, and you might be holding a coin far more valuable than you ever imagined. And that leads us to the moment you've all been waiting for. How much could a 1956 Lincoln wheat penny with a mint mark, specifically, the right error, the right condition, and the right grading, actually be worth? Well, here's the truth. One of these rare 1956 D Lincoln wheat pennies, discovered with a highly sought-after mint error and preserved in exceptional mint state condition, was sold at a major coin auction for a jaw-dropping $117,000. Yes, you heard that right. One tiny, copper coin. 1 cent sold for $117,000. That's the magic of numismatics. That's the reason collectors keep searching, keep checking, and keep believing that even the smallest coins can hold massive value. And who knows? The next great discovery could be hiding in your collection right now. So go ahead, dig through those old coin jars, flip through your penny albums, and give every 1956 penny a closer look. You might just be sitting on a hidden fortune. Today's episode is all about one of the most surprising and underestimated coins in modern U.S. currency, the 2012 Lincoln penny with a mint mark. It's a coin that might be sitting in your pocket right now, disguised as ordinary, but under the right conditions, this little copper coin can be worth more than most luxury cars. Yes, you heard that right. We're about to take a deep dive into the secrets of the 2012 1-cent coin and uncover why some of these pennies, especially with a mint mark, are selling for shocking amounts. And trust me, you'll want to stay with us until the end, because that's when we reveal just how much this penny could actually be worth. Now, when people think of rare coins, their minds usually go to ancient silver dollars or coins from the early 1900s. But what many people don't realize is that modern pennies, even from the last couple of decades, can be incredibly rare and valuable too, depending on a few key details. Let's rewind the clock to 2012. At first glance, this penny doesn't stand out too much. It has the familiar face of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, the same design that's been in place since 1909. On the reverse, we see the Union Shield, a design introduced in 2010, symbolizing national unity. Nothing unusual, right? But here's where things get interesting. In 2012, the U.S. Mint produced pennies at 3 different facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each of these mints left behind a little clue: the mint mark. A small letter under the date tells us where the coin was struck. A D means Denver, an S stands for San Francisco, and if there's no mint mark at all, it was minted in Philadelphia. Now, the majority of 2012 pennies were made in Philadelphia and Denver. San Francisco pennies, especially those struck for circulation, were produced in much lower numbers. But even within these mint runs, strange things happened. A few rare 2012 Lincoln pennies, those with a D or S mint mark, left the mint with unusual flaws or one-of-a-kind features, and these are the coins that send collectors into a frenzy. Let's talk about what makes a 2012 penny rare and valuable. First, condition is everything. A circulated coin that's scratched, worn down, or dull is still collectible, but probably not extremely valuable. But a coin that has never been used in everyday transactions, one that looks as crisp and flawless as the day it left the mint. Those are the coins that make collectors' eyes light up. We're talking about coins graded in mint state condition, often labeled as MS-65 or higher by grading services like PCGS or NGC. Next, let's look at errors and varieties. Some 2012 pennies, especially those with a D mint mark from Denver, have been found with amazing mistakes: doubled dies, where part of the design appears doubled; off-center strikes, where the design isn't aligned properly; die cracks and cuds, which leave raised lines or blobs on the coin surface; and even coins struck on the wrong planchet, a blank intended for a dime or foreign coin. These are not only rare, they're totally unique. Imagine owning a coin that was never supposed to exist in the form it does. That's what makes error coins so exciting and so incredibly valuable. There's also the mystery of unlisted or undocumented varieties, coins that haven't yet been cataloged in major price guides, but which are starting to pop up in private collections and auctions. Collectors and coin hunters are always watching for the next big discovery, and in recent years, the 2012 penny with a mint mark has become one of the hottest targets. So how can you tell if your 2012 Lincoln penny might be worth something big? Here's what to check: look at the mint mark. Is it a D or an S? These are often more valuable than the no-mark Philadelphia coins. Examine the coin surface. Use a magnifier or loupe to look for doubling in the letters or numbers, raised lines from die cracks, or signs of off-center strikes. Check the condition. The sharper the detail, the better. A coin that looks uncirculated or flawless has a much higher chance of being valuable. Compare it with verified examples. Online coin forums, auction listings, and certified grading services can help you spot known valuable variations. And if you think you found something special, don't just let it sit in a drawer. Get it professionally graded. That step is key if you ever want to sell it or prove its authenticity. Now, here's the part you've been waiting for. Just how much could one of these rare 2012 Lincoln pennies with a mint mark, especially one with a confirmed error and a high-grade condition, actually be worth? Well, the answer is going to surprise you. One such coin, a 2012 penny with a mint mark, containing a rare minting error and certified in near-perfect mint state condition, was sold at auction for a staggering total of $98,000. Yes, you heard that right. One little penny. 1 cent sold for $98,000. That's the power of rarity. That's the magic of minting mistakes. And that's why it's worth taking a closer look at the coins you see every day. So the next time you get change back at the store, or you're going through an old jar of pennies, don't just toss them aside. Because the next big find might not be hidden in an ancient vault, it could be right in your hand. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about hidden treasures in modern pocket change, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. We've got tons of amazing coin stories to share, and you never know which one might lead you to your next big discovery. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy hunting.